The tall whites, the confession they tried to erase. They told me to watch the skies, but I should have been watching the ground, because what I found out there in the Nevada desert wasn't from the stars. It was already here. They live longer than us. They look almost human. They move like ghosts of light. And the military didn't just know about them, they served them. This is the story I was ordered to bury, the truth about the beings we called the tall whites, and why their eyes still haunt me every time I close mine. 1. The Desert of Mirrors. The desert doesn't sleep. It watches. Wind carves secrets into the sand and hides them under silence. That's where I was stationed, Indian Springs, Nevada, 1964. A weather observer, a nobody with a balloon and a notebook. At least, that's what I was supposed to be. Every night, I saw lights rise over the mountains, white, silent, impossible. Too fast for flares, too perfect for stars. When I reported them, command said, ignore it. So I did, until one of them landed. 2. The thing that walked out of light. It stepped from the glow like a dream refusing to fade. 6 feet tall, skin white as chalk dust, eyes huge, glassy, rimmed with a faint electric blue. No expression, no fear, just curiosity. My first instinct was to run, but I couldn't move. The air around it felt heavy, like gravity doubled. When it blinked, the world seemed to stutter, as if reality itself was adjusting to make room for it. They called him Range 4 Harry. That name came later from the files. That night, he just looked at me, and I heard a voice in my head that wasn't mine. Do not be afraid. We have been here a long time. 3. The Protocol. 2 days later, a captain handed me an unmarked folder. Inside, 4 sentences. If they approach, do not run. If they speak, listen. Keep 30 feet distance. Never touch the children. Children. That word didn't belong in a military memo. But I'd learn soon enough. The tall whites moved in families. Mothers, fathers, offspring, all hidden beneath the surface of our most secure range. 4. The first family. She appeared under a pale moon, her form shimmering like heat haze. A woman, if you could call her that. Eyes soft pink, voice like a whisper carried on electricity. 3 small ones floated beside her. May my children see your weather house? She asked. Her English was flawless, flat but perfect. They stepped inside my shack, silent, graceful. Their suits glowed faintly, releasing sparks that hovered mid-air. One brushed my shoulder, static crawled through my body. When I looked down, my arm hair stood straight. The child giggled. I laughed too. She didn't. Her head tilted, eyes narrowing, and for a heartbeat, I thought she'd kill me for laughing. That's when I realized they weren't just visitors, they were predators of etiquette. One wrong move, one wrong tone, and you became a lesson.
5. The Anatomy of Perfection. Up close, they're unsettlingly beautiful. Smooth, paper-pale skin, no blemishes, no pores. Their hair so thin it turns invisible in sunlight. Their lips barely formed, hiding ridges instead of teeth, because they don't eat meat. Everything about them feels engineered, precise. I once measured their footprints after one walked away. Depth, length, angle. From that, I calculated its weight. Barely 100 pounds at 6 feet tall. They aren't built for strength, they're built for control. Their suits project a force field that bends matter. Throw a rock, it drops before impact. Point a weapon, it jams. Approach uninvited, and you collapse from pressure in your chest. They don't fight you. They just turn you off. 6. The mother's warning. One evening, the same female returned. Her voice slipped through the dark. Do you understand that we love our children more than human women love theirs? I said yes. It wasn't an answer. It was survival. Because behind her, the children floated inches above the sand, laughing, their eyes bright, their fingers tracing patterns in the air that glowed like fireflies. She watched me the whole time, not with affection, with ownership. Later, I'd learn the truth. Touch one of their children, even by accident, and the mother kills without hesitation. One scientist tried once. He didn't make it to sunrise. 7. The trade. Months passed. My orders changed from observe weather to maintain communication. That's when I realized what was really happening. The Air Force wasn't hosting them, it was serving them. In exchange for technology, metals, propulsion, energy systems, we gave them access, supplies, silence, bodies maybe. Their craft weren't machines. They were alive, metal that pulsed like veins under skin. I watched one heal itself after a storm, cracks sealing as light crawled across its surface. They didn't build technology, they grew it. 8. Time moves differently. Their minds run faster than ours. 3 seconds for them is 1 for us. They can speak, listen, and judge you before you finish blinking. Their lifespans stretch to 700 years. They don't wrinkle, they elongate, bones stretching, organs failing to keep pace. By 600 years old, they reach 8 feet tall and turn fragile as glass. That's how they die, standing, luminous, dissolving into the same light that birthed them. I once asked Harry if death scared him. He said, "We do not die, we transfer." Transfer where? He never answered. 9. Learning us. I thought I was the observer, but they were studying me. Every gesture, every emotion, every song I hummed while releasing weather balloons. One night, the children sang that same song back, word for word, except they changed the lyric. It's up to you, we decide. That's when I knew the truth. They weren't blending in, they were practicing.
10. The ones who grow too tall. Sometimes one of them changes. Bones stretch again, skin thins, eyes turn crystal white. They call it the final growth. When it begins, they gather around the afflicted one, chanting in tones below hearing. The air vibrates, dust rises and hovers. Then, silence. The tall one is gone. No body, no sound, just light fading into the sand. I asked what happens. The teacher, their elder, said, "They return to the frequency you cannot hear." 11. The teacher. She was different, more human in shape, more deliberate in tone. She told me things she wasn't supposed to, that their ancestors seeded Earth, that humanity was a side effect of their experiments in atmospheric adaptation, that our evolution wasn't random, it was supervised. "You are the offspring of our mistake," she said, "but we love our mistakes." Then she smiled, a perfect imitation of empathy, and I realized she was proud of what we'd become. Like a scientist admiring a lab rat that learned to speak. 12. Betrayal. When I tried to file a full report, the document vanished overnight. My locker emptied, my bunk searched. The next morning, an officer said calmly, "There was no report." That evening, I felt someone following me. Soft steps, too light to be human. I turned. Nothing. But the sand behind me held footprints, long, narrow, ending mid-stride, as if the walker had simply floated away. I stopped sleeping after that. 13. The final encounter. 1970. Orders came. Relocation. Immediate. No reason. No record. The night before I left, Harry appeared outside my barracks. No craft, no sound, just light bending around him. He said, "Do not speak of us until the time is right." I asked, "When is that?" He answered, "When you look in a mirror and cannot tell which one you are." Then he walked away, and the light followed him like a curtain closing on a stage. 14. The truth they erased. For years I stayed silent, but silence doesn't bury fear, it feeds it. They're still out there. Maybe not in the desert anymore, maybe in our cities, our governments, our bloodlines. Sometimes I see faces that look too perfect, movements a little too smooth, eyes that don't quite blink right. And I wonder, did they finally finish the experiment? Because if they did, the next phase isn't observation, it's replacement. 15. They walk among us. They study us. They built us. And somewhere in a bunker beneath Nevada, there's a file with my name on it, and one word stamped across the top in red: completed. You still think they left? Watch the next chapter, and you'll see what happened when one of them finally spoke our language.